And just when you least expected it, Hero Factory returns. It's a Fans of Minimox episode today on the show where we spotlight mocks from across the community to inspire you. And look, Hero February is over, but y'all submitted a lot of Hero Factory mocks, so I wanted to do one more Hero Factory themed episode using the stuff that you submitted. So here you go, enjoy. We begin with a mock by Caleb Sharp, and it's called Escape Artist. Now, first of all, the name of this mock I think is awesome. I love the idea of a villain that's so good at breaking out of prison and escaping all the time that they name themselves Escape Artist. And they also just like casually wear their bright orange prison uniform all the time. You know, these prison pants, they're brilliant, by the way, using a brick separator as well as some of these additional Technic panel pieces on the back so that it looks like the prison uniform could go over the top of the torso, but instead they've decided to just, let their torso be exposed and hang the top part down. It's a very clever idea and a great use of the brick separator as well. Something else that's great here are the talons on the hand, but also the Visorak claw. To me, these look like weapons that could be used to, pick locks, which is certainly fitting for the name. But, I'm sure you could also attack heroes with these weapons as well, so I guess they, have multiple uses. But it's very smart to fit the weapons to fit the theme of, breaking out of prison. Also, the chain on the wrist, another great detail. This is just a really awesome, very well executed concept. Dr. Johannes Gurik by Peter Shaker is up next. I love the posture on this guy. The hand behind the back and the other one extended. They're gesturing like they're some super smart evil villain. It's a really fun way to showcase this guy. Now on the torso we can see this light bluish grey area with some tubing around it and a few other nice details. This sort of tech look and stuff is really cool, but it's actually a giant weapon. Specifically this black hole weapon as the backstory describes. Now these edited images showcase this, the powers of this weapon very well. And I love that they've also used this Ninjago Spinjitzu tornado wind element here to represent the weapon's powers. I feel like these days there's a lot of really good energy effect or element effect pieces that LEGO makes. So yeah, using that here was a very good idea. There's no reason you can't do something similar. Now also this chest weapon, just the idea of that, it's great. You don't really see too many chest weapons these days, so maybe that's something you could also consider. Oh, and I do like this head design, using a white hero head. That is probably a knockoff piece. I don't believe those actually come in white. And then attaching that onto this smaller windscreen piece so that it looks like a neat little, almost space helmet. How wonderful. This is a really great design and a really nice color scheme as well. Taco Lacan has built a hero called Dieselator. Well, they were a hero, but according to the backstory on Instagram, they're now a villain. Either way, I think this is a very fun little build. It's cool to see a bunch of wires leading to what appears to be a big invasion from below canister on the back. I like the idea that this canister adds extra power to this Zamasphere launcher, but it also helps charge this flamethrower type weapon. And yeah, honestly, just adding in any sort of detail on the back and finding ways of linking it into the front, I think that's a really good way of just spicing up that classic hero build, much like this one is. So if you're stuck for ways to just make your Hero Factory mock that little bit more exciting, just put some stuff on the back, like a jetpack or a canister, whatever. Plus this is a very nice color scheme too, the yellow and the orange, very pretty. Now for a freaking delightful build, this is Big Joe by Anderson Builder. I'm gonna read the backstory on this and then you'll understand why I adore this. So it says the following: not all heroes have hero cores. While Mr. Makahiro is a once-in-a-lifetime genius and the famous heroes get all the glory, Hero Factory staff work quietly in the background, deftly making sure that the entire complex runs as efficiently as possible. As one of the best mechanical engineers they have, Big Joe provides support in the retrofitting tower with upgraded weapons and armor for any situation or crisis that a hero might face. When not on duty, he can be found tinkering in his littered workshop with half-baked ideas, rushed projects, and crash test dummies. Yes! HF Feb this year we've seen plenty of wonderful, valiant, noble heroes and many evil villains, but what about the middlemen? What about the workers? What about Dave from IT who works at Hero Factory? I love seeing the civilians, the citizens, the regular folk of Hero Factory. Whether they work for Hero Factory or they're just a random citizen. Seeing stuff like this makes the world of Hero Factory feel so much more rich and diverse. It's great. Now, this mock is based off this image here from some of the animated Hero Factory shows and different things, and they've replicated it quite nicely. I especially love this head design with the cute little bucket hat. Although I suppose it's more of a hard hat, but the shape of it is rather amusing. Plus the way they've captured the robotic look of this face with a bunch of different system plates and other things, it's just brilliant. It's nice to see some Bionicle pieces making up the bulk of the legs, and then System making up a lot of the torso design. The contrast there is quite nice. And another thing that's rather nice is the lower arm design here with this cool, almost segmented design. Very cool. So yeah, man, build more everyday folks from the Hero Factory universe. It's a great idea. Mr. Infector is next, and Enzo Winter has built this. It's always a pleasure to see another B-movie over-the-top style villain. because that's just perfect for the world of Hero Factory. And a name like Mr. Infector and his cool plasma arm and the skull face, it's so silly but so fun, I love it. Now, very nice use here of the CCBS Darth Vader chest piece with that lovely printed pattern on it there. It works very well here with all this other silver armor, and what's good is it stops looking like a Star Wars piece and just, it looks like some nice decoration and some nice printing that complements the rest of the design. That's sometimes one of the issues about some of the Ultra Build Star Wars sets. The pieces look too obviously Star Wars, but it's nice to see that this one does not fall into that trap. And I also quite like this blaster that seems to be infected with this same kind of like plasma material or whatever it is. It's a good look. This is a very charming villain. And finally, Miscellanea Builds knows the way to my heart because they've built a Surge revamp called Surge Street Runner. Great idea to use the Gully G2 torso piece and then place it onto Surge's torso. The colors here work quite nicely, and I think the energy of this yellow line on the torso, it fits very well with the lines on Surge's mask. Yeah, it's great to see that torso piece fitting this so perfectly, because I know a lot of people didn't really like those printed torso pieces on the G2 sets, and they wish that they just weren't printed. Kind of makes it harder to use them, right? But when you got printing that complements a mock this well, it's a bit easier to start loving this piece. What a great use of it. Now, this thinner limb design is fun. It matches the street runner idea that this character has been given. And once again, this more slimmed down athletic look for Surge. Now, I've always thought that he has that cool sort of speedy electricity kind of vibe. So it just complements him perfectly. Now, I really like this upper leg design using the Invasion from Below large spike piece in blue, and then placing some of those Nexo tile pieces beside it. What a great look that creates. But yeah, man, what a lovely dynamic vibe that's been layered into my boy Surge. How awesome. So there you go, that's a few different Hero Factory mocks for you today. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of inspiration and kept those Hero Factory juices flowing, because you guys certainly seem to enjoy HF Feb, which is awesome. If you'd like to see some of your own mocks on the show, you can submit them to the submission email that's on your screen right now. It's also in the description below. Send me whatever you want in that email, and I'll do my best to feature it in an upcoming episode. Also in the description below is links to the social media of the people who were featured today, so be sure to check those out. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now.